Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Augustus, and I'm back again with another episode of Tsukihime. When we last left off, Shiki died horribly, and I've been just sort of a hopefully brief aside. I've been sort of reading a bit more about what's coming up in the game just to refresh myself a little bit, so I don't accidentally. I've basically just been reading through my flowchart, and I forgot a few things. I think a good thing to say about it is I'm remembering how much I really like certain routes and how much other routes were kind of not as good in my opinion. That's not to say they're bad. I do like all of the routes in this game, but I do have definite favorites, and I definitely enjoyed certain ones over others. I mean, there are certain routes I played through, in like a day or two, just because I could not stop reading. Oh, anyway, without any further waffling on, let's get back into it, shall we? More or less, anyway. I know last time I said I was going to cut out the repeated stuff, but I've decided to do something else because I don't know for sure what does or does not change. So, we are going to tell Hisui the truth. Because last time we lied to her and, we're killed horribly. So we're going to tell her the truth. And if the scene is the same, the following scene after we choose this is the same, then we should have the option to skip it. If it's different, then we won't. So that's sort of how I'm going to tell it, because I don't know. Anyway, still, I'll tell Hisui the truth. That's right. And no matter how hard I try, I can't hide it from Hisui and Kohaku-san, who are in charge of maintaining the mansion. So, the least I can do is let them know when I'll be gone every night on the following days. Yeah, to tell the truth, I'll probably leave for a number of nights starting now. I swear, I'm not playing around or doing anything bad. Akiya will probably end up hating me, but I can't stop now. Yeah. The vampire is still somewhere in this town, preying on victims. As a person who lives here, I can't just pretend like I didn't see it. I know it's a burden to you, Hisui, but please overlook it. I don't know what time I'll be back, so please just leave the gate unlocked. Shiki-sama, are you saying you will not tell us why? Yeah, I'm sorry, Hisui. You can think I'm totally irresponsible, but please don't ask. I don't want to have to lie. No. You are my master. A servant does not despise her master like that. She speaks plainly and without any expression. The conversation ends, and I go up to my room. Please wait. Forgive my impertinence, but... After cutting off, she tightens both of her hands as she looks over at me. If you would like me to, Shiki-sama, I can keep your leaving a secret from Akiya-sama. You mean you're not going to tell? Yes. After dinner, it is extremely rare for Akiya-sama to leave her room. Nesan and I are responsible for conducting a patrol right before she sleeps, so if I do not tell the truth, she will not know. Yeah, that helps. It helps, but is that okay? Isn't she your employer? I told you, you are my master, Shiki. I'm kind of happy. I always have to tell her to stop adding sama, but at times like this, I'm incredibly lucky. How can I help but be happy? Yeah, that helps, so please do it if you can. Then please use the rear entrance tonight. The front entrance will be locked, but if you have the key and use the servant's entrance, you can come and leave undetected. Oh? There's a servant's entrance? No wonder I never saw you leave through the gate. No, the only one who uses that is Nesan. She has the key, so I will get it to you later. Well then, she says, after which she bows and disappears. By the way, my nose is kind of stuffy because I'm allergic to existing, basically. So if I pause or take a moment longer to start a sentence, it's because I'm trying not to sniffle into the microphone. Alright. Help just came from an unexpected source. Is it really unexpected? She's been quite helpful for the most part. With this, it seems I can keep my promise with Arcueid without worrying Akiya. After dinner, I go back to my room. It's almost 10 o'clock. While I was eating, Hisui placed the key on my desk. Now then, shall I go? Placing my knife in my pocket, I leave my room as quietly as I can. You've already viewed this scene. Would you like to skip? Okay, then the scene is the same, and I will... I'm going to take a sip of water. I will need to remember to change that setting in the options because it's annoying. Well, it's annoying, kind of, because I actually have to click through this, because when I'm looking for thumbnails, I go through and find images from that recording session that I liked, and I toss those in. Okay, let me think. After this is that. Okay. Just to double check something. I can't display image, recollection, progressive next choice. No. Nope, I cannot change that setting in the pause menu in the game, which is incredibly aggravating. I hate when the options menu is not in the game itself. There's a cat meowing outside my door. I go up the residential hill and arrive at the outskirts of the mansion. It is horribly distracting. Horribly distracting. It's around 2 in the morning. As expected, I'm totally assailed by sleepiness. I wonder if she's going to be okay. I'm concerned about how she seemed when we parted. It seemed like it wasn't a pain from her wound, but... The cat is meowing at a toy and is horribly distracting because that cat, the one that's meowing, likes to meow at whatever toy she is playing with. What is that? It feels like there's someone lurking in the shadows, not illuminated by the streetlights. Thump. My heart stops my breath. My blood rushes through my body, this sensation. Certainly, there's someone standing there. The figure gets closer and closer. Footsteps. The sound of dry footsteps reaches my ears. Thump. I have a bad feeling about this. Chills race up my spine. The figure draws near. Suddenly, the streetlights shatter loudly. The moon is hidden by the clouds. The whole world instantly turns to darkness. Thump. My heart skips as if warning me of death. I jump back for no apparent reason. A blade runs through the darkness. Not being able to get away fully, my glasses are grazed by it. They fall to the ground with a clatter. Who? The instant I try to say, "Are you?" the clouds for a brief moment and the dark figure is illuminated. Sorry, bumped my phone and almost dropped my timer. Don't want to do that. What? A man wrapped entirely in bandages is gripping a knife. The bandaged man goes to attack me. I quickly ready my knife and stop it. 2 slivers of light shoot towards each other. I can't think calmly. The fact that I'm being attacked causes my mind to panic. Clang, clang. Sparks fly from our clashing knives and scatter into the darkness. I still can't calm down. It's not because I'm being attacked. Clang. I swing my knife to cancel out the one attacking me from every angle. Why? What's surprising is that my body is completely stopping all of the attacks in this darkness without a pause. My body is moving by itself? I don't think that's something you should be saying in the middle of a fight out loud. No, that's not it. All my arms are doing is seeking out the lines and points that I can see in the darkness with my glasses off. That's all I can see, so I swing my knife through the dark air after those lines. As a result, the man's knife is simply stopping mine. In other words, it's not that I'm defending myself, but he's defending himself from me. I can win. I don't know who he is, but there's no doubt. I'm overwhelming him. My blood rages forth from my advantage. I'll win. I'm stronger than him. Because I'm stronger. Because he's trying to kill me, aren't I just returning the favor? Clang, clang. The sound of ringing metal echoes in the air, and I force him to back towards the mansion wall. There. My eyes fixate on the line on his chest, and I thrust my knife forward. Momentarily, for some reason, I see a boy painted in blood and Akiha's crying face. I pull my knife back before completion. What? I'm trying to kill someone. Why? My head hurts. My legs wobble and I stagger backwards. As I do so, I empty the contents of my stomach. My chest starts to itch. My head hurts and the old wound on my chest burns. My eyes feel like they're going to burst out of their sockets. I can't stop throwing up. The vomit splatters all over the asphalt. And there, the bandaged man comes after me with his knife. He slips in your vomit and falls, and clang. Another collision. My knife shoots towards his. This time, I really defend myself. I know where he's aiming. Since I know, I block him once again with another clang. Clang, clang, clang. Despite not being able to see his knife due to its speed, I somehow manage to block it over and over. The reason I can defend myself is simple. Because where he's aiming are the lines on my body. So I know where he's aiming at, and I understand more than anyone that having them cut would mean instant death, so I have to defend it. You know, something I've wondered about, and this might be answered with the other Shiki, whose first name I can't remember, something with an R, Rio, something, is what would happen if you can see the lines, you guide somebody's hand to cut a line, can they cut it since you can see it, but they can't? I don't know, it's an interesting question to me anyway. No, wait, aiming for my lines? It's the exact opposite of before. That means, don't tell me, The bandaged man smiles in the darkness. Thump. My heart rate goes out of control. Feeling some unnameable fear, I stumble backwards. He doesn't pursue me. He just smiles. His bloodshot eyes seem to be saying, "So you finally realized it?" as he sneers at me. You can see them? Yes. He also can see the lines. Then he can also kill with one blow? The man laughs. He draws near while laughing. I, even down to my fingers gripping my knife, tremble uncontrollably. Slice, slice, slice. The sound of flesh being pierced by a blade resounds 3 times. And then, a thud, a sound of a body hitting the wall. I wonder if is Shiki's most used word. I can't grasp the situation. The bandaged man was suddenly pierced by 3 spear-like pipes. Not just pierced, but stuck onto the wall. Like an insect pinned in a bug collection. You're in my way. His voice grates awfully. I haven't decided on what voice to give him yet. I had an idea, but my throat is a touch sore, so I can't do it for sure. And I don't know how it would sound. I have no idea what his voice is going to be, or what voice I'm going to attempt to do for him. At the same time, the 3 spears alight like candles and engulf him in flames. An anguished voice in the whirlpool of flames. I don't want to do something too deep, because then I'll end up with, or too gravelly anyway, I'll end up with another Nero. In the darkness, that scene seems less cruel and almost beautiful. The bandaged man. No, the bandages are already burned. His skin is showing. Wrapped in the flames, the man stares at me. His bloodshot eyes filled only with murder. His black eyes like a weapon bent on cursing Tono Shiki. What? Stunned, I can only watch. He runs off into the distance, still engulfed in flames. The moon reemerges. After those flames, that cursing voice, everything returns to silence like it was before. I fall to my knees and lean against the wall. I look up at the sky. In the direction where those spears flew from, someone is standing high and far away. Far away. Actually, I'm probably going to use this as a thumbnail for this video, actually, is an iconic, you can't see on my mouse, I don't know why I'm tracing stuff, remember I'm drawing a circle on it. This is another iconic scene from this, at least in my opinion. This is one of the ones that my mind always goes back to whenever I think of certain characters. Standing composed at the top of the streetlight, I see a familiar figure. Robes like a priest from another country. It's more like a nun, but sure. Clenched in her hand, large nail-like swords. Emotionless, pale eyes. I believe those swords are called, if you're curious. I don't think it's ever mentioned in this game, though I could be wrong. Those swords are black keys. Blue, sky blue eyes. Senpai? Under the moonlight, I can only make out the silhouette. But she seems to resemble Senpai. Our eyes meet. The standing figure on top of the streetlight suddenly disappears like a ghost. I sit down roughly. Is it relief from my headache fading, or just the lifting of all this tension? Leaning my back against the wall, I start to drift off to sleep. You probably shouldn't do that. Sleeping outside is a bad idea. Ooh, new day. It's a very ominous name. 8. Death. White. The color white summons an old memory. Something forgotten. Something I was supposed to forget. Something my father commanded me to forget. A hot summer day. A blue sky and large columns of summer clouds. The wafting breeze and the droning voice of the cicadas. The voice of cicadas. Chirp, chirp, chirp. I can't remember what cicadas sound like. I haven't heard any since I was a very young kid. Because they don't... Chirp, chirp, chirp. I lived in an area when I was younger where cicadas were more frequent. But where I live now, they're not. Chirp, chirp, chirp. I think they're more of a droning sound, like chirp, 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 chirp. But I'm not going to swear to that, and that's annoying as hell to do, and it probably sounds like shit on a microphone. So loud, I want to die. Cicada shells are lying in the clearing. As if the sun is right by my side, the clearing is roasting. A hot midsummer's day. As if the entire world became a frying pan. Wah, ooh, wah. Wah, ooh, wah. Wah, ooh, wah. Right, I always forget every single time Akia is crying. I always forget that. I keep thinking that that's more like bird noises or insect noises or the droning of something. Not Akia crying. Every single time in any single route that this scene happens and that it does that line, I forget that. And in my head I'm going, whatever noise I associated with at the time, birds, cicadas, insects droning, just droning of something, you know. Akia, who would always obediently stay close behind me, is brimming forth with tears. A child collapsed at her feet. Her white shirt is painted red with blood, and he doesn't even move at all. I'm looking down at that. My hands are red, just like that child on the ground. No, that's not it. These hands are red with the blood of that child. Akia, the adults are coming. After seeing this sight, their expressions change rapidly. What in the... The adults take Akiho away. The child lies there, dead. In the distant sky, the white clouds. I'm left alone, staring at the sky aimlessly. Did you kill him? The adults are yelling at me. They shout my name, the one who killed the child. Those two syllables shouting as if they went crazy. Just those two syllables. Those adults call me Shiki as my hands are stained in red. I feel like I just saw an old, familiar dream. I open my eyes. I'm in my room. After losing consciousness by the mansion wall, it seems like I somehow made it back here. My thoughts still aren't coming together. I remember the whirling events of last night. The man wrapped entirely in bandages, and how he could see the lines just like me. After he was impaled by those swords, his body burst aflame, and with a voice that sounded like his dying curse, he ran off. After that, I can only remember things vaguely. The figure on top of the streetlight. That figure that saved me, that seemed to resemble CL Senpai. Yeah, right. That can't be true. I finally wake up. Putting on my glasses, I get up in bed. The clock says it's past 8. Normally, I would have long since eaten breakfast by now, but today's a school holiday. Hisui isn't here? The figure of Hisui standing before the door like a shadow is nowhere to be seen. I'm sure she came here many times to wake me up, but I never did, so she probably went off to do other duties. Sigh. I let out a deep breath. After I partied with Arcueid last night, the events afterwards were beyond my comprehension. That bandaged man and that figure that helped me, they're just not things I can understand no matter how much I try. Whatever the case, I have to meet Arcueid tonight. She has to be able to give me some answers. I'll talk to her about all of these strange things, but for now, I have to just return to my normal life or I'll go crazy. Alright, first things first, time for breakfast. People can't do anything on an empty stomach, after all. Shaking the sleep from my body, I go to the sitting room. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're going to end off for today. Not much of a cliffhanger, I know, but I feel like this is appropriate for a scene change, and we get to decide if our boy Shiki is going to get to have a nice, enjoyable, quiet breakfast, maybe by himself, maybe with a mate or two, maybe even with Akiha giving us a few tsundere words, but who knows? Will he have a nice day, I guess, is the question. And the answer is probably not, to be fair, but maybe this will be one of the days that he has that are enjoyable, good, positive memories. Shiki needs good, positive memories. Anyway, that's the end of this episode, and I hope to see you all in the next one.